or to lose.
I want to play a video, and I'd ask that everyone watching pay attention specifically to the weapons the rioters were using. You can hear someone yell, "Get your machete." You can see officers being attacked with flagpoles, flares, and gas canisters. If we could roll the video.
Taking rocks, bottles, and pieces of flag and metal poles. Cruiser 50, the crowd is using munitions against us. They have bear spray in the crowd. Bear spray in the crowd.
Let's go, Rapio, if we get him.
Sergeant Gannell, in the video, we just saw someone throw a large speaker. Was that directed your way?
I was further inside. That was afterward, towards the end of before they got clear. When they threw the speaker at me, and I was further inside the tunnel.
What types of weapons did you see used against your fellow officers?
Police shields, police baton, the hammer, the sledgehammer that you saw on that video, flagpoles, tasers, pepper spray, bear spray, rebards, bats, PVC pipes, copper pipes, rocks, table legs broken down, furniture broken down, the guardrails for the inauguration stage, cones, 4x4, any weapons, any items that they could get their hands on it. That
You were further down the corridor, but the speaker was thrown at you, and it hit your foot. Is that correct?
correct, sir.
We have a photo.
It was thrown my way, and then when it landed, it hit somebody else, and then hit my foot.
I think we have a photo of your foot here as well that we'd like to show.
That is correct.
Can you tell me how you're doing? You mentioned in your opening statement about your continued physical therapy related to the foot. Can you tell me how you're doing?
The foot, I had several conditions that were. One is fusion on number 1 metatarsal, tarsal, metatarsal. Then there was a hammer toe that, as a result of the hit, and then the second and third digit also got damage. And in order to fix one, they needed to correct the big toe to stabilize. If not, I would have. Later on in the future, I would have had the same problem returning. It is very painful. It is with a lot of patience and determination that I had gone through. I still had the same problems in terms of pain, stiffness, whatnot. The doctor last week on Tuesday told me that I'm going to need surgery on my shoulder because I have a labrum tear that has not healed even more than 6 months later. And possibly my rotator cuff also is gonna need some work. So that you're talking about 8 months to a year more of physical treatment and rehab.
Sergeant, you're an immigrant from the Dominican Republic, a naturalized U.S. citizen, and you mentioned how individuals had zeroed in on your race that day.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me how that made you feel?
When we were before or right after MPD just arrived with the fluorescent mountain bike unit they got there. I was at the front line, and apparently they seen, even through my mask, they saw my skin color and said, "You're not even an American." Regardless, whether I was in the military, they don't know that, but they yelling and saying all these things to me. I mean, when I heard that, I wasn't even thinking about any racial stuff. I'd be like, okay, you don't know that for a fact, so I'm not even entertaining that. But it's just like Officer Harry done. It takes time for you to process that, and you only realize what was happening after you go back and see it from a different point in time. Because I only saw that recently, but for me, I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm there to stop them regardless. I'm not thinking what they were yelling in terms of my skin color or my race. And I know an American soldier and former soldier and a police officer. I didn't take that into account when I was defending all of you guys.
Officer Hodges, you characterized the attack on the Capitol as a white nationalist insurrection. Can you describe what you saw that led you to label the attack that way?
The crowd was overwhelmingly white males, usually a little bit older, middle-aged, older, but some younger. I think out of the entire time I was there, I saw just 2 women and 2 Asian males. Everyone else was white males. They didn't say anything especially xenophobic to me, but to my black colleagues and anyone who's not white. And some of them would try to recruit me. One of them came up to me and said, "Are you my brother?" There are many known organizations with ties to white supremacy who had a presence there. I know, like 3%ers, Oath Keepers, that kind of thing. And people who associate with Donald Trump are find more likely to subscribe to that kind of belief system.
I want to thank the 4 of you for taking the very difficult step of sharing your stories and your recollections of the threats, violence that you endured. No one should have to experience what you went through. And this committee will continue its work to give a complete accounting of what happened, to protect further officers, and to amplify the stories that you've shared today. Thank you so much for being here. Yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Gentleman yields back.